Welcome to this edition of On the Scene. I'm your host, Tim Kelly. On today's program, we're going to talk about how you can volunteer with the City of Suffolk. Also, we're going to highlight maybe an unknown resource here in the city, the Suffolk Art Gallery. Stay tuned. Welcome back to On the Scene, joined now by the volunteer coordinator with the City of Suffolk Parks and Recreation Department, Jason Pittman, to talk about volunteer opportunities with the City of Suffolk. Jason, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you, Tim.
When we talk about volunteering for the City of Suffolk, people might think, what the heck does that mean and what opportunities do you have? Kind of tell us a little bit about the program and maybe some of those unique slots that people can kind of fill in and help out for.
Certainly. Well, we're really excited to have citizens be engaged in our volunteer efforts with the city. The purpose of the volunteer program is to give citizens the opportunity to come be involved in local government and to be able to contribute to the services that we're providing to citizens in the city. So it truly does enhance the services that we already offer, and everything that they do goes just above and beyond what we're able to do with staff alone. So it truly does make an impact and makes a huge difference in our community.
Now, I know you're with Parks and Recreation, but
Right.
This program covers the entire city, so it can touch on different departments and different facets of volunteering with the whole organization, right?
Certainly. Part of the role that I serve as a volunteer coordinator with the city is not just with Parks and Recreation. As you mentioned, it is the entire city.
Right.
And I serve as that one-stop shop where if an interested volunteer would like to volunteer with the city, they can contact me. And what I will do is coordinate with those departments and determine if volunteer placements are available. And vice versa. If there are departments that wish to have volunteer placements available, they can contact me as well. And what we do is we make sure that we advertise those and we can post those so that volunteers see that they're available.
And I would imagine you come across a lot of people that, really no matter what their age. I mean, I know we certainly talk to retirees that maybe are interested in just kind of getting out there and helping their community, but this could be for people from teenagers all the way up to volunteer.
Certainly.
But you have folks that probably contact you or you work with that, I'd like to do something, but I don't know what. So how do you work to make that connection? Because everybody has a different set of life skills or work skills or whatever they picked up along their path of life so far. So how do you make those two things fit together with what we have to offer and what they have to provide?
That's a great question. We deal with a lot of volunteers that do want to be involved in local government. They want to be able to contribute their time and to be involved socially for not just the social benefits, the health benefits, and the other benefits that are there.
Yes.
But they may not know what exactly that niche is that they want to get into. So what we do is we'll set up a meeting with them and we'll kind of go over what their career goals were or what they enjoy doing.
Yes.
We'll look at some of their hobbies, some of the things that they like to do in their spare time, and we'll say, okay, well, how can we fit that into what we do as a city? Because there's a lot of different variety that the city offers in the terms of services that we offer. Very lucky and biasedly, I work in Parks and Recreation where we do fun. That's
Sure.
what we do.
Yes.
So it's really easy a fit for us to be able to find placements. But then we do get also volunteers that may be interested in criminal justice or something like that,
Right.
or we can pass those on to the police department or to social services or maybe another department that may be interested in those opportunities.
All right, if someone wants to volunteer, what is the process? Because obviously you have to kind of make sure, you do a background check, I believe, as well. Is that part of the process?
Correct, and it's position specific.
Okay.
So what we do is, just like our age ranges, it is position specific. We do have some volunteer placements that may start at 14 and up,
Right.
some that may be 18 and up.
Got it.
And then there are different duties within each of those placements. Some of the placements that we do have for the city do require criminal background checks. That is, of course, for the safety of our participants, the safety of those that are being involved in the program as well.
Sure.
But if a person is interested in volunteer opportunities, they would reach out to us and contact us. They can visit the city's homepage, and it'll have a list of volunteer opportunities listed by department. There's also directions on how to apply and contact information as well, where they can contact me and we'll have them complete an application, bring them in for a general meeting, discuss their interest areas, and then we will go forward with a placement that way.
Now, I know in addition to volunteer opportunities, and they're kind of really, you're volunteering your time, we talk about internships. I know it's summertime right now when we're taping the program, so obviously young people are home from college and they have that gap of time and they want to get that experience, which everybody's craving out there, really, whether you're going to college or not. But you also work with internship programs as well, correct?
We sure do.
Okay.
We work with some of the local colleges and universities, and we do work with the students as well on internships. Many times students, for their graduation requirements, will have course credit that they need to obtain through fieldwork experience. And we come and we can fill that role for them. Lots of times it is in the municipal government setting that provides unique opportunities where a lot of our internships are unpaid.
Right.
We do have an option through many of the school systems for the students to check into federal work study grants or stipend programs that may be available through the school where compensation could be available. So although we consider it a non-paid internship with us, there may be a way for the students to get compensated. But furthermore, it's a great opportunity on the intern side because they can come here and get valuable experience. They're able to network, to build relationships within the city, and to see the inner workings of city government.
And I think I'd heard you say one time that one of the benefits is we get a really good boost to our workforce, if you will, through the volunteer and the internship programs, and it's a not only is it a benefit to the city for the workflow, because obviously there are things that could be helped out with, but also financially because of the fact that, like you noted, you consider this non-paid, but at the same time the experience is the payment in those instances, but it really benefits the city, which in turn benefits all of the citizens.
Right, and another prime example of that would be within Parks and Recreation Division alone, we had over 8,000 hours of volunteer service through a variety of different projects, ranging from shoreline restorations and buffer restorations when we installed a new pier at Sleepy Old Park, to our coaches that really come in and make a difference in the lives of the children. And that 8,000 hours in terms of dollars saved the department over $200,000 in volunteer service. That enhances, that goes to enhance the programs that we currently offer, and does save taxpayer dollars in that respect.
And that's $200,000 that doesn't have to be spent there. It could be spent on other programs, whether it be within Parks and Recreation or the city as a whole. So again, it kind of sort of a way it tentacles out, because you don't know where that's going to reach and what the benefit that's going to have, in addition to the fact of these quality folks that we're able to bring in, and it's a great partnership for us as well as for the participants. Right,
and just as an added benefit as well, when I use the example of coaches, to me that hits home, again, being in Parks and Recreation, but it helps create that community, and that sense of community, because our volunteers are able to be involved in the community level, but they're also working with our citizens that are right here at home. And then there's that buy-in that you have from both your volunteers, from your program participants, and now when they see each other in the store, they're going to say hello, and it creates that sense of community within Suffolk.
Well, it's that many more people that can impact how the city government is functioning and the work that we're doing, because as you said, I know people think, well, city government, but you don't realize all the departments and all the divisions and things that make that infrastructure up. You take just Parks and Recreation alone, I think people will be very surprised sometimes to find out all the different areas that Parks and Rec touches. It's not just a youth basketball program or having an after school program, but you have the pool, you have maintenance throughout the city and things like that go on just under Parks and Rec. And that's just one example, because you could talk any department, I think you wouldn't realize all the different things that is being done with the workforce that we have.
Another example of that would be Public Works, for example, does have a litter control division.
Yes.
And they utilize volunteers for programs like Adopt a Spot and Adopt a Street programs that really go a long way into the beautification of the city. But programs like those make a huge difference.
Now, so someone's watching the program and say, okay, Jason, you got me fired up. I want to volunteer. I want to get involved. How can they go about doing that? What's the best way? I know you mentioned the portal on the city's homepage, but should they really coordinate everything through you, or if they had additional questions, can they work with you?
Certainly. I would definitely recommend that they contact me directly.
Yes.
That is at 757-514-7268, or by email at jpittman, that's PITTMAN, at suffolkva.us. They can also visit the city's homepage as well and see the opportunities that are there.
What is the typical process? So someone calls you, you meet with them or talk with them, and you find a match, so what they're interested in and what an opportunity that the city has. What is the time frame from that initiating, that decision being made to actually getting, so to speak, on the job? And I know it depends on, I guess, with the background checks and things that may go with that individual position, correct?
Exactly. It would be position specific. On those turnaround times, I say a good safe bet would be to expect about 2-week turnaround time. That gives us time to analyze the interest of the particular applicant, and then to coordinate with the department and make sure that we can make that connection, and then get those two together so that they can discuss a possible placement in detail and see if it's a good fit on both fronts.
Correct.
Not just for the department, but for the volunteer as well, because that is very important to us.
Indeed. All right, well, I think we have about a minute or two left in the program, so I'm going to give you one chance, last chance here, to make a sales pitch to people who are considering volunteering with the City of Suffolk, just to kind of tell them again the benefits and just the rich experience that maybe is out there for them.
Excellent. Well, we want you. Your volunteer efforts truly do make a difference in the community and everything that we do with the City of Suffolk. Everything that we do as staff is enhanced by what we have as volunteers. A prime example would be the example that we used for the Sleepy Hole Park Pier that was put into place. We had over 100 volunteers from the Nansemond River Preservation Alliance and the Kings Fork High School JROTC who came in and did a shoreline restoration, planting over 100 trees, spreading over 80 cubic yards of mulch, and that took away the time that our park rangers would have had to spend on that. So it enhances what we're able to do and it allows us to accomplish a whole lot more through the efforts that you're able to provide. So again, if you would like to volunteer with Suffolk Parks and Recreation, reach out and contact me. Thank you.
Jason, great job, and thank you for sharing this. It's a great opportunity for people in our community to get involved with the city of Suffolk and make a difference in your community as well.
Certainly.
And so that'll close it for volunteer opportunities, but we have more on the scene to return after this short break. Welcome back to On the Scene. We're now joined by another member of our Parks and Recreation Department, but this is involving a very unique opportunity slash spot location within the city. Kind of a secret, shall we say, so to speak, in some respects. And we're talking about the Suffolk Art Gallery. And to talk about the Art Gallery, we have Tiffany Cowell, who's the director of the Art Gallery. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you, Tim.
We talk about the Art Gallery. So what is the Art Gallery? Where is it located? And what opportunities and events and things go on there that people can take part in?
Well, sure. The Art Gallery is located on Bosley Avenue. So for longtime residents of Suffolk, they'll remember that as the old Morgan Library. And we are right there on Bosley Avenue, 118 Bosley, and we have changing exhibits, we have classes, we have programming, and we have tons of things going on all of the time for the citizens of Suffolk to enjoy.
And correct me if I'm wrong, it is free admission all the time.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's free admission. We have parties, opening receptions,
Right.
free and open to the public.
Very
We
good.
have food, drinks. We have a great time over there.
And of course, some of the programs, there are a cost or fee with that related to probably usually materials or things like that. But as far as access, where you have an exhibit or something going on over there, it again is open. What are the operating hours and the days of operation?
We are there 10 to 5,
Okay.
Tuesday through Saturday,
Okay.
and then on Sunday from 1 to 5.
Okay. And people come in. I know it's a very uniquely, the architecture of the building, it's got a lot of open windows and things, a lot of light coming in there. It's a very beautiful spot. But talk about your theory behind programming the site. Because I know there are different things that come up, and we'll talk about the relationship between the Art Gallery and the Art League in just a bit. But there's always something there. So
Absolutely.
how does the philosophy behind what you're going to, pardon the expression, fill the space with?
Sure. Well, our goal is to have everyone in Suffolk come to the Art Gallery at least once a year. So that's either going to be for an exhibit that catches their eye, or a program that they or their child would like to take part in, or a class or an event. We want everyone to come at least once a year because we're a gym right here in downtown Suffolk.
Right.
And, you know, as citizens of Suffolk, we are, you know, something that, you know, is there for you to enrich your family. So when we schedule programming and events, we schedule those things with that in mind, to try to draw people who have not been there before, and offer a variety of different programming opportunities.
Now, I know it's summertime. We referenced it earlier in the program. So obviously, the youth are out of school,
Yeah.
looking for something to do.
Absolutely.
What opportunities do you offer for youth during the summer? So what are some of the things going on right now?
Sure. Well, again, with our partner, the Suffolk Art League, we have classes and we have camps going on. So we have a great camp. It's called Summer Art Days. It's only $1.
Okay.
And
Can't beat that.
No, you really can't. and you know, your child can come in. It's
Right.
divided by age,
Okay.
so that it's easier for the children to adapt and easier for the instructor as well. And they can come in and they can take part in the art program. We have the younger children in the morning and the older children in the afternoon. And then we also have an art camp scheduled for August of this year.
Very good.
So kids can come in and they can register. Now the Summer Art Days, there is no registration. It's first come, first serve.
Okay.
So if you want to take part, you have
Right.
to get there early.
Got it.
But the art camp registration is ongoing right now.
Okay. And again, when you talk about registration and things, that's all done through Parks and Recreation. Do you have to come to the Art Gallery? Do you go to the Parks and Rec office? Do you do it online, or kind of a combination?
Actually, we try to make it easy.
Okay.
So you can do any of the above.
Okay.
Now, for programs that are actually offered through one of our sponsors,
Yes.
you would have to register with the sponsor.
Got it.
So you could look on the Art League's homepage and you can get the registration information. If you look on our website, we have a link that will take you right there, and then you can register that way. And so we try to make it easy. You can call us if you like. You can stop by. You can
Okay.
mail us a check. You can do whatever
Like you
is
said, making it
easiest.
very convenient,
Yes.
correct. Well, and you mentioned it, and I mentioned it earlier as well, the Art League. So talk about the relationship between the Art Gallery, which of course is a city entity,
Right.
and the Art League, which is a private entity.
Sure.
How the two work together and partner together to offer a lot of great resources for people.
Right. Well, you said it. That is what our goal is. We want to give the most that we can to the citizens of Suffolk.
Yes.
And so many people might be familiar with the Art League because they do great work in our city, and they have been doing so for a long time. Well, we actually are partners with them, and so we share office space, exhibit space, classroom space, and what it allows us to do is to offer more to the citizens without actually having to finance it through
City resources.
exactly.
Right? Yes, exactly. Yes.
Exactly.
Now, I know some of the things I know that are offered throughout the year. We put out media releases and announce things, and of course, look on Facebook. You see everything going on with the Art Gallery. But you have bus trips throughout the year that go to different museums and things like that. So it's not just local things.
No.
And I think people would really be surprised at some of the events that you do offer and the opportunities that you offer throughout the year, because it's not just a summer thing. It's 24/7, 365 days a year.
Absolutely.
Yes.
We do. We have trips that go to Richmond, to Norfolk, to major museums in our area, and we're always scheduling things like that, so people can check our website for things that are coming up. We also do a lot of things after hours. So as I mentioned, we usually close at 5, but then because we do want to offer more to the citizens of Suffolk, and we know that many people do work during the day,
Yes.
we have after hours events as well. So sometimes we have classes that meet after hours, and on those occasions we'll keep the doors open. So if you want to come in and see the exhibit, you're more than welcome to do so.
Very good.
And then we also have parties. You know, I call them parties because they're fun. You know, so we'll do like a paint night, a paint and sip, or an after hours event, or a game night, or an opening reception.
Right.
We do things that give the citizens things to do.
Right.
They don't have to go far away. They can
Sure.
come stay right at home and have a good time.
Now, you're still doing poetry, prose, and pizza?
We are.
Which is a tough one to say
Yeah.
sometimes, but it sounds delicious.
It's wonderful.
Yes.
Poetry, Prose, and Pizza, again, another partnership with
Yes.
the Art Gallery and the Art League. And we invite people to come in. They can share original poetry. We have musicians that come in. It doesn't have to be original, though. You can, if you just have a poem that you love, you can
Right.
come in and recite it.
Very good.
We have musicians that come in, and then we have free pizza provided by Alforno's. So if anyone knows Alforno's,
Yes.
you know that it's good. And we invite people to come in, and we have a great time. People
Very good.
come in and have a ball.
Well, how important do you feel the arts are in people's lives? I know sometimes they kind of get pushed to the side because everybody's focused on this or that, but there's really a lot of knowledge and experience and things that be gained through experiencing the arts in any way, shape, or form. And again, you offer a variety of opportunities.
Absolutely. And that's why we kind of try to couch it in a fun, creative environment,
Right.
because creativity improves everyone's lives. You know, kids who are exposed to arts do better in school. You know, people, you know, when you go into the workplace, creativity is the thing that sets you apart from the guy next to you. And so we want people to come in and get their creative juices flowing. You know, sometimes just taking a class just gets you, you know, kind of thinking in a creative mindset. And it's not because you're going to be an artist or you're going to be a painter, but it just kind of opens up another part of yourself. And then you can take that back to your other, you know, the other parts in your life. So creativity is huge. And we want people to come in and explore those things about themselves.
Tapping into that psyche or that mental part that maybe doesn't get access during the day when you're doing this type of thing with your job, where maybe creativity comes into it in different areas, but certainly it's an interesting approach there.
Absolutely.
So someone's watching the program, I always like to say this, and they'd like to get more information. You mentioned, stopping by, calling, you mentioned the website and everything, and we'll have some of that contact information on the screen. But what would you say to encourage someone to just literally stop by and see what's there?
I would say art is awesome. And so if you're not taking part, then you're missing out. Not just on, like I said, being a painter or, an artist, but the things that it opens you up to. And so please stop by the gallery. We have classes and events, and we just have a good time. Everyone is welcome. It's free, it's open to the public. And if you'd like more information, please give me a call. I'd love to answer any questions for you. My number is 757-514-7284. And we are always there. Someone will always be there to help you.
Very good. Well, again, you're very warm and welcoming here, and I'm sure have the same approach over there at the Art Gallery. So thank you for coming in to talk to us about the Art Gallery, a resource that may go unrealized sometimes, but it's always there. And again, it's a great way to kind of get your juices flowing, your creativity going. When you start thinking about the arts, think about the Suffolk Art Gallery.
Thanks, Tim.
Thank you. Appreciate your time today. And that would do it for this edition of On the Scene. I'm your host, Tim Kelly. We'll see you next time.